And just when you thought it was safe to throw dirt on the Georgia Bulldogs, just when you thought it was safe that the Georgia Bulldogs program was on a decline and that the Georgia Bulldog dynasty was over, just when you thought it was safe to say that, it is absolutely, positively not. Yesterday, Kirby Smart and the University of Georgia Bulldogs, not only did they make power moves yesterday, they basically put their stamp on the 2025 college football playoffs and Kirby's third national title. Get your popcorn ready. I'm Armondo Black, and this is the Dawg Call. Good afternoon. Happy Wednesday, everyone. Happy Wednesday, everyone. I hope everyone is having a blessed and productive Wednesday. I'm your host, Armondo Black. Welcome to the Dawg Call Wednesday edition. It is the eve of the semifinals eve of the college football semifinals, the final four of the college football playoffs. And as I mentioned earlier, this week and last week, we will be doing a watch party on both games if weather is permitted. If all of you know, we're expecting a terrible winter storm here in the Georgia area, well, in the southeast area. And if weather permitted, if there's no power outages, I'll be right here with you guys conducting the watch party for the Notre Dame Penn State game and on Friday for the Ohio State Texas game down there in Dallas. Now, before I go any further, I would like to offer my thoughts, wishes, and prayers to the people out there in the California West Coast area, that whole West Coast line, Pacific West Coast line. Right now, there's a terrible wildfire going on out there, and you have a combination of two things, two elements that you don't want, two recipes for disaster that could actually create a disaster: fire and wind. Fire and wind can create all kinds of havoc in the area. So my thoughts and prayers are with the people of Southern California. My sister, very close friend, together. If you're listening, I love you, sis. Prayers are with you. If you need anything, make sure you give your big bro a call. I'm here for you. I'm here for you. Even if you need to come this way to the Atlanta area, mi casa su casa. Okay, mi casa su casa. So, and also, if you are in the southeastern area region of the country, make sure you get prepared. There's a serious, terrible winter storm headed this way. So it's nothing to play with. If you're caught in a winter storm with not being prepared, or if you're just caught off guard, then that can be bad. I went through an experience like that back in 1993. Then it wasn't just a winter storm, it was a blizzard that hit on March 31st of 1993. We didn't even see it coming. As a matter of fact, the day before the blizzard hit, it was in the 70s. We were wearing shorts. I never forget. We went downtown to the underground. We were wearing shorts. It was warm that day. Then later on, it got cloudy. It rained. It rained all through the night. Then the wind started blowing late that night. The next thing you know, woke up the next morning, snow up past my calves. That's how thick the snow and the ice was. Wind was blowing. It was terrible. A lot of us got caught off guard with that winter storm, and that was a bad situation to be in. I was younger back then. I was in my early 20s, and I wasn't back then during that time. Watching the news wasn't my thing. Watching the news wasn't my thing, so I didn't really keep up with what was going on as far as the weather-wise. And me and my cousin, we were sharing an apartment together during that time, when we got caught off guard, and we were not prepared. No batteries, no flashlights, no nothing. But we had some food there, and luckily we were able to cook. It was the food that you had to know how to cook on top of a stove in order to survive. So I just wanted to share that with you all, to kind of lighten up the mood or whatever. But I do know this. I have a lot of viewers from the Southern California area, and I just wanted to let each and every last one of you know that my thoughts and prayers are with you all. Okay, moving on to the subject at hand. Our Dawgs are building a super team. They are building a super team, and the first thing that, when everyone came off the field in that Superdome after that loss to Notre Dame, we all knew the number one top priority going into the offseason is we needed some playmakers. We need some playmakers. If anything we learned in the Sugar Bowl is we have potential. We have potential to win another national title. We need playmakers. You cannot win a national title in today's college football landscape without being able to make plays down the field, or the threat of being able to make plays downfield. It makes a difference. A team can go old school on you, load the box. If they know you're one dimensional, all you can do is run. They can load the box on you and shut that down. Especially in today's college football world, because these linebackers are running 4.6, 4.5, some are even running a 4.4. These linebackers are fast. These kids are fast coming out of high school nowadays. So you got to be able to combat that with being able to make explosive plays down the field. And Kirby and the staff has answered the call. They went out, and I'm telling you, when they went out and got two playmakers that can just blow the top off of any secondary in the nation. I'm talking about Zachariah Branch from USC and Noah Thomas from Texas A&M. Zachariah Branch, for those of you that don't know this young man, this kid is dynamic, excellent speed, great hands. Kind of put you in the mind of a Steve Smith. Short in stature, but very, stocky, strong hands, and will go up and get the ball. He plays like a 6'5" receiver, but he's only like, what, if I'm not mistaken, he's only like, I think like 5'11", but he plays like a big receiver. Kind of reminds me a lot. I watched tape on him. It reminds me of Steve Smith, the Hall of Famer that played for the Carolina Panthers. He has that swag, that killer instinct on the football field, and he can return punts as well. So he will be a great addition to the team. Also, Noah Thomas, 6'6", over 200, like 200 some odd pounds. The kid is lightning quick, lightning fast, great hands, and he can jump. Which means when the Georgia Bulldogs are in the situation where if it's like 4th and goal, and they need a jump pass, all Gunnar Stockton has to do is throw it in the corner, jump pass to Noah Thomas, touchdown. Not only did we get Zachariah, like I said yesterday, it was a package deal. We got Zion Branch, and we also flipped Adrian Max from Florida. Adrian Max was a UAB. He transferred from UAB. Great, outstanding safety. And Florida wanted him. A couple of other teams wanted him. Texas wanted him. Ohio State wanted him. Michigan wanted him. Notre Dame wanted him. But he chose Georgia. The kid can hit. He's fast, and he has great hands. He gets his hands on the ball. Kind of like Christopher Smith Jr. has speed like that. He could take it to the house and hit you for a pick six. So that is a great pickup. Zion Branch, a little bit more development, but I see him getting a lot of playing time this year. So you look at what we have coming back. Dan Jackson is gone. Malachi Starks is gone, but KJ Bolden is that guy. I think KJ Bolden will fill that void that Malachi Starks is leaving. KJ Bolden can play that position. The thing about KJ Bolden, he's fast, and he's a better tackler, a much better tackler than Malachi Starks. So I think KJ Bolden would be an upgrade from Malachi Starks. Malachi Starks did great things for us. We won a national title with him in 2022 as a true freshman. He came in, their first interception against Oregon was epic, but there were a few flaws about him. A lot of times he got out of position, kind of like Dominique Sanders. He puts me in the mind a little bit of Dominique Sanders. He's aggressive. He'll jump routes. He'll get caught out of position and not really a good tackler. And that was my only knock on Malachi Starks. But I think he'll develop into a much better safety and do great things at the next level in the NFL, and I wish him all the luck. Don't really know what Dom Lovett, I'm sorry, Everett is gonna do. Don't know what he's gonna do yet. A lot of people are waiting to see what Dylan Everett is gonna do. In my opinion, now coming into the season, I was not a Dylan Everett fan, and a lot of you know that I was not a Dylan Everett fan. Listen. If you listen to the morning shows, on the kickoff shows on Saturday morning, I was not a Dylan Everett fan. But in that Texas game, the first one in Austin, from that point on, he became a lockdown corner. Would I love to have him back? Yes. Do I think he's NFL ready? Yes, I do. I think the kid developed into a elite cornerback, in my opinion, that last half of the season. And like I always say with anything, when it comes to sports, anything, politics, life, in real life, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. Dylan Everett, he started off shaky, but he had a strong finish to the season. And I see him doing great things in the NFL. I see him doing real good things in the NFL. So if he decides to go into the draft, then I think he'll be I don't know about first round, but I think somewhere between maybe a late second, early third round pick in the draft. But he will definitely, some team will definitely pick him up, because remember, you have to be a special player with ball skills, with ball hawking skills, to be named the SEC championship game MVP. That award usually goes to an offensive player. It's rare that it goes to a defensive player. So just keep that in mind. But we would love to have Dylan Everett back if he decides to come back, but we don't know. We still got Daniel Harris at corner and Ellis Robinson, just in case. And Ellis Robinson, if you don't know anything about Ellis Robinson, go look at the tapes. The kid is special. The kid is elite. He's just been sitting back waiting his time. We will be good in that secondary. We will be good in that secondary. With the addition of Maddox and Zion Branch, that secondary is going to be deep. And remember, we got guys coming in. The pass rush is going to be lethal. We got pass rushers coming in. I understand Damian Wilson left. There's a reason why he left, because he knows we have elite pass rushers coming in, and he wasn't confident that he was going to be able to keep his job, in my opinion. Chaz Chambliss, I'm hearing rumors about him returning. If he returns, that will be huge. And I do mean huge, because he's bringing back experience. He's bringing back locker room leadership. He's won 2 national titles. He has 2 national titles to his name. What better type of leadership would you love to have in the dressing room than to have that guy that has started the last 2-3 seasons? And listen, we don't know yet. I can't confirm or deny, but the rumors have it that he is planning to come back. Now let's talk about something major and huge, a major piece to the puzzle, a major piece to the puzzle, and I'm talking about that offensive room. Kobe Young has another year of eligibility. Kobe Young has been plastering Georgia pictures all over his social media accounts. So that tells me, and that tells a lot of insiders, that he's planning on coming back. So you add Kobe Young, Noah Thomas, Zachariah Branch to what we have coming back, which is also Dylan Bell is returning. Now, in my opinion, I think Dylan Bell is going to be used similar to what Cash Jones was used. I think you're going to see Dylan Bell getting more action out of the backfield. If we do, we're going to run bubble screens as long as Bobo is around. We're going to run bubble screens. But that's what Dylan Bell is going to be for. And I know Dylan Bell has put a bad taste in a lot of Dawgs fans' mouths, the way it ended in the Superdome, the drop passes or whatever. But I'm telling you, if it's anybody that I'm confident that's going to assert themselves and come back, if anyone is going to work hard in off season and come back with that eye in the tiger and come back with, motivated to have a great season in 2025, it's that kid Dylan Bell. I'm telling you, I really do believe this kid is going to come back stronger than ever. And the drops, I don't see those happening. When it pertains to those drops are not going to happen in 2025 with Dylan Bell. So we're stacked at receiver. That right there, everything I just named off to you, that's the greatest show on turf. That's the 99 Rams, the 99 St. Louis Rams. You're talking about a wide receiver core that it's going to be hard as hell to stop. They're going to be big and lengthy. Dylan Bell is 6 foot. Noah Thomas is 6'6". Zachariah Branch, he's 5'11". And Kobe Young is 6'4", 6'5". Good luck with that. Good luck with that. That is going to be hard to stop for any secondary in 2025. Let's take a look at the other news that came out. Trevor Etienne coming back. Trevor Etienne. If it was one thing that I was kind of nervous about, was the running back room. And was Nate Frazier ready to step up to be RB1? Just ready. And as much as I love Nate Frazier, don't get me wrong, I love the kid. I love his skills. I like the explosiveness, the burst. I love it. But the fumbling and the ball carrying still needs a little bit more development. And I feel a little bit more better having Trevor coming back as RB1. Kind of reminds me of 2020, 2021, going into 2021, going into the spring of 2021, and Zeus decided to come back for his senior year. I felt a hell of a lot better because I was not confident that James Cook and McIntosh could carry the load by themselves. I didn't think they were quite ready. So Zeus coming back brought that senior leadership of a guy that has been there, been around, know the system. And year 2, Trevor, year 2 in Bobo's system, ETN is going to be dangerous. ETN is going to be dangerous. Brett Thornton. That was another position I was nervous about because I've always said that if Brett Thornton, if what happened in that SEC championship game would have never happened, Brett Thornton, no doubt he would come back for his senior year. But with the injury, the way things ended in that SEC championship game, the way his season ended, I thought, well, maybe he would go on off to the NFL. They have enough tape on him. Somebody is going to draft him. I don't know if it'll be in the early rounds, but somebody is going to draft that kid. But luckily, he decided to come back. It's just, and that right there was, to me, was the biggest shock because I just knew he was gone. I did not think he was coming back, but he decided to come back. So that is huge for Georgia and Kirby Smart to get back Brett Thornton, seasonal experience punter. I'm not saying no knock on Drew Miller because I think Drew Miller could have stepped in and been great. But having that, put it like this, the more retention you have, the better your chances are of winning a national title. The more leadership you have in the locker room, the better your chances are of winning a national title. One player that I was hoping that would return, and I really felt like he needed another year to develop was Arian Smith, but he's accepted the invite to the Senior Bowl. I don't know if he's coming back. I think he's gone into the NFL. He does have some pretty good highlights on film, but the drops are those GMs are going to think twice about drafting him, because they're going to think about the drops. There's so much film of him dropping the ball. I really, really believe if he would have just came back his last year, and just redeemed himself and had a season without drops, I think if he would have returned one more year, I think he would have gotten Terrence Edwards' record. I think it would have been that 1,000-yard receiver had he returned. But hey, you know, when a bird feel like it's time to leave the nest, well, when a dog feel like it's time to leave the nest, hey, let them spread their wings and paws and try the NFL. But we're going to be fine at receiver. Remember, we got some elite receivers coming in. C.J. Wiley, Elias Williams, and Taylor also coming in. We are going to be stacked at receiver. We're going to be stacked. It's going to be impossible to stop this offense in 2025, which leads me to my next point that I want to make. And a lot of people are. Let me just say something to the Mike Bobo Fire Club, or the Fire Mike Bobo Club. Okay. And I said this the other day, and I still stand by what I said the other day. I feel like we need to run it back. I wouldn't be mad if we ran it back. Due to injuries, drop passes, blown assignments on the O-line, I just think it would be unfair to fire Mike Bobo or demote him. And, because it's an unknown situation. Now, with the weapons that he's being provided for 2025, now we get a chance to see what Mike Bobo can do with an elite offense. And for some of you that were saying, well, he didn't have any talent, where Todd Monken had the better talent, which is BS. Okay, because let's look at the top talent that Todd Monken was working with. Okay, Brock Bowers was a 4-star. Ladd McConkey was a 3-star. A.D. Mitchell was a 3-star. I think Kyrus Jackson was a 3-star, if I'm not mistaken. Rosamond St. Jack was a 4-star. The only 5-star that Todd Monken had, the only 2 5-stars that Todd Monken had, and that was, I'm talking about 2021, was Jermaine Burton and Darnell Washington. Those are the only two 5-stars. But the go-to guys were McConkey, Bowers, and Mitchell. Mitchell the 3-star, McConkey the 3-star, Bowers the 4-star. So what that tells you is Monken not only called excellent plays for those kids, he put those kids in a position where they could excel and do great things on the field. And he developed those kids. Those kids were developed. Yeah, they played like 5-stars, but they were not 5-stars. And a lot of people forget that. And McConkey will go down as one of the greatest wide receivers of all time. One of the greatest wide receivers of all time in UGA history. And that says a lot, because we had Hines Ward, AJ Green, Terrence Edward, Muhammad Massaquoi. We've had some great receivers to come through here. Chris Connolly. We've had some great receivers to come through here. But McConkey, was developed into being an elite player. And that's the point that I'm making. So this year, in my opinion, this wide receiver core that Bobo is being given is better than what Monken had, in my opinion. Now, yes, Monken had better tight ends. But I'm speaking on the receivers, the wide receivers. This is the most loaded wide receiver. This will be the most loaded wide receiver room. Everything I just named off, all the names I just named off, this will be the most loaded, talent-wise, the most loaded wide receiver room under Kirby Smart. Hell, maybe in Georgia history, to be honest with you. But I'll just say under Kirby Smart, this will be his most loaded wide receiver room. And if Mike Bobo don't get the job done in 2025, if he comes out there with that same BS, with them same BS calls and same BS results, he's gone. He's gone. So the Fire Mike Bobo Club, calm down. Like I always say, woosah, calm down. Calm down. I say run it back one more time. Run it back. Let's see what he does with some elite receivers that can catch. Because one thing I will say in the defense of Mike Bobo, it seems like every time I try to do a live, someone calls. I could be sitting here not doing anything or just working on something and no one will call. One thing I will say about Mike Bobo, in Mike Bobo's defense, there were receivers running in every game. There were receivers running around in secondaries, wide open. We saw it in the Bama game, Auburn game, the Tennessee game, hell, the Ole Miss game, both Texas games, running around wide open. Even in the Notre Dame game, they were running around wide open the entire night. They just could not catch the ball. It was either they couldn't catch the ball and finish out the play, or the old lineman would whiff and blow a blocking assignment. And that right there, my friends, that ain't got a damn thing to do with Mike Bobo. That's on the Lions coach. Which leads me to my next point. I won't feel better about the entire situation until we make a change at Lions coach. Because I've seen enough. When it comes to that line, I've seen enough. We are not the same. We have not been the same since Matt Luke left. We have not been the same on that O-line since Matt Luke left. In 2023, I saw the decline. My eye test. The decline started in 2023. And it got worse in 2024. That's my biggest concern. Some of the rest of you, you're concerned about Mike Bobo. You're saying, Mike Bobo this, Mike Bobo need to go. Mike Bobo this, Mike Bobo that. I don't have a problem with Mike running it back one more time. Now, can his play calling be a little bit more creative? Hell yes. I'll agree with you on that. His play calling needs to be a little bit more creative. But maybe, just maybe, he was calling plays and he knew those receivers. He knew that those receivers were not elite. And they couldn't catch worth a damn. And that's maybe why he was just calling dink and dome plays, because he wasn't confident that they could make plays down the field. And we can't say, hey, he called plays down the field in the Sugar Bowl. He called plays down the field. The ball just wasn't being catched. Dylan Bell dropping balls. Dominique Lovett dropping balls. Lawson Lucky drop balls. Now, if we could run that Sugar Bowl game back, I would have loved for more plays to be called, more passes would have been thrown to Arian Smith. But what I think happened is we just ran into a secondary that knows how to lock down your best players. And they keyed in on Arian Smith. They keyed in on him. They keyed in on Arian Smith. And they took Arian Smith away. So that left Dylan Bell and Cash Jones and Lawson Lucky, Oscar Delp. They also locked down on Oscar Delp as well. A good secondary knows how to take away the middle of the field. Remember, Ohio State did it. They did it 2 years ago. They took away the middle of the field. Brock Bowers couldn't do a damn thing against that Buckeye defense. They took Brock Bowers away. Brock Bowers couldn't do nothing. They shut him down. Ohio State shut Brock Bowers down in that Peach Bowl. What saved us in that Peach Bowl was Kyrus Jackson, Rosamond St. Jack, A.D. Mitchell, and Arian Smith. They wouldn't let, and Ladd McConkey. Ladd McConkey was, they kind of shut him down also. Go back and watch the replay. They kind of locked Ladd McConkey down. And they took away Bowers. Darnell Washington was injured. So the tight ends were not really a factor that night. But the difference was we had wideouts that could pick up the slack. That was Kyrus Jackson, Rosamond St. Jack, and also Kenny McIntosh catching balls out the backfield. And that's where Trevor Etienne come in at. And that's what I would love to see Bobo call more. More pass plays to running backs out of the backfield. That is why I say it would be a good idea, a damn good idea, to utilize Dylan Bell out of the backfield more. Use him like South Carolina used Deebo Samuel. I think that's Dylan Bell's strength instead of trying to turn him into Jerry Rice. And I think that would make his draft stock go up if Bobo used him more as a Swiss Army knife. So Dylan Bell coming back is huge for Georgia. Now, the big mystery, and I'm going to close it out with the big mystery, is the line. I'm confident that the D-line, we're going to be good on D-line. Christian Miller is returning. Jordan Hall will be back. Jordan Hall is huge. Remember, Jordan Hall is the reason why Beryl Alexander decided to leave. And then you add along those freshmen that are going to be coming in, Elijah Griffin, those guys are going to start day one. Those guys are going to start day one. Those freshmen, D linemen and pass rushers, they're going to start day one. So we're going to be pretty young on defense, kind of like 2022, but we're going to be deadly on defense. We're going to be young and deadly on defense. If you think back to 2022, you had a lot of first-year starters, a lot of true freshmen starting on that Dawgs defense in 2022. And what happened? 15-0. You can't put an age on greatness. Can't put an age limit on greatness. And those kids were great when they came in 2022. Smile Munden, they Smile Munden, Malachi Starks. You remember? Those guys came in, and they came in and produced. They came in and they produced. True freshmen. So I like the direction that we're going in. Kirby is being very aggressive in the portal, even amidst to having his father passing away. he still has been taking care of business, and doing making the necessary adjustments. He's had a great off season, because hey, I'm gonna be honest with you. I didn't see Dylan Bell, Trevor Etienne, or Brent Thornton returning, and I kind of had my doubts about Kobe Young, even if he, I knew he would be eligible, but I kind of had my doubts about him maybe wanting to return to Georgia. But and I can honestly say we as the Dawgs family stood by Kobe Young. We showed support to him. We stood by him because if it's anything we learned from the Adam Anderson situation, you don't try a person in public court. you let the courts decide. You don't. A person is innocent until proven guilty. That's how our American justice system works. It's unfair to declare these kids guilty, off the rip, without them even being tried in court. So I'm proud of the Dawgs fan base, and I love the way they all rallied and stood behind Kobe Young. And the kid, he loves the school, he loves the UGA family, and that right there is the reason why he's returning. I think he's going to be a damn good asset. He's going to be a damn good asset out on that football field this fall in 2025. So everyone, there it is. The Dawgs are building a dream team. So for all of you haters, all of you that was sitting there talking crap about Georgia's going down and Kirby is losing his mojo and Georgia is Clemson 2.0 and the Dawgs dynasty is over with, all of that mumbo jumbo you was talking, it sounds good. It sounded good. But in real life, the Georgia Bulldogs ain't going nowhere but back to the top to reclaim our crown, our national championship crown. And that's the way it's going to be. So whether you like it, don't like it, sit down and look at it, because the Georgia Bulldogs still are the best thing going today, So, hey, you can't win every year. No dynasty won every year. The Patriots didn't win every year. There are a few years in between that they didn't win the Super Bowl. Hell, they went on a 10-year dry spell and didn't win the Super Bowl from 2004 to 2014. And then they came back and they won 3-4 more before Tom Brady left New England. Even Nick Saban was in Bama what 16, 17 years, 16 years, and he won 6 national titles. So 10 out of the 16 years, they didn't win a national title in Bama. You can't win them every year. You can't win every year. No, show me a dynasty that won a national title every year. See, these clowns nitpick Georgia, nitpicks Kirby Smart, but never did the same thing to USC in the middle of their dynasty run. Never did the same thing to Miami in the middle of their dynasty run. Never did the same thing to Bama in their dynasty run. But you automatically want to declare the Georgia dynasty is gone. The Georgia dynasty is dead. No, the Georgia dynasty is not dead. For one major reason. We are still the only team in the playoff era to go undefeated in the regular season 3 years in a row. We are still the only college football team in America to go back-to-back national champions in the college football playoff era. In this era, in this current today's world of college football, we're the only team that went back to back. What that tells you is that my Georgia Bulldogs is the standard, the creme de la creme of college football, whether you like it or don't like it. And on that note, I want to thank all of you for coming out and joining me here on this Wednesday, this special Wednesday edition of the Dog Call. Make sure you hit that like button. Leave a comment in the comment section. Let me know, what do you think? How do you feel about these additions to the transfer that we've gotten out of the transfer portals? And how do you feel about the returning seniors? Trevor Etienne, Dylan Bell, Kobe Young, Bren Thornton, and hopefully Chaz Chambliss and Dylan Everett will join them as well in return for their senior year. How do you feel about all of this? Leave a comment in the comment section. If you agree, leave a comment in the comment section. If you disagree, leave a comment in the comment section. Okay? But make sure you hit that like button, most importantly. And if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell so you can get notified of all this great content over here at 20s Media Sports. All right? This has been a Dog Call. Thank you all. I'm Armondo Black. Remember what I said. Get prepared. We have a terrible winter storm coming in the Georgia area. For those people out in Cali, love you. My thoughts and prayers are with you. Praying for you. I have family and some very good friends out there that I love and care about. And I will be praying for all of you out there. Please evacuate. If you're able to, if you get the chance to, please get out of Dodge and evacuate. Okay? All right. Everyone, thank you all for coming out. Until next time, like I always say, take care of yourselves and each other. One last thing for life, for always, to my last breath. Go Dogs! Sick 'em! Woo, 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 woo. This has been a Dog Call. I'm Armondo Black. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday.